I used to think that if I just worked hard enough, if I stayed productive, checked all the boxes, and grinded my way through life, then I would be happy. The problem is, the more that I achieved in life, the more of a feeling of emptiness I created. I didn't fully acknowledge this until finally, at the age of 14, my parents and 4 other siblings and I moved into an RV and traveled the world full time and really disconnected from society. And in that space of reflection, I realized that I was constantly outsourcing my happiness to the next win. And as soon as I arrived at that win, there was always a new target. Around that time, I also discovered the teachings of Tal Ben-Shahar in his book called Happier. Tal shares some powerful concepts around positive psychology, including something known that he coined as the Hamburger Model. The Hamburger Model is a super simple approach to overall happiness and fulfillment that not only changed my life, but is a powerful grounding point for me as I go through my life to constantly come back to what it means to be happy. So in today's video, I want to break down with you why exactly success does not make you happy and what actually does. So this video is a follow-up to yesterday's video where I shared with you guys the lesson of happier and the concept of happier, which is that you really shouldn't aspire to just be happy, because most people would tell you, well, I am happy, and people tend to get a little defensive about it. You are happy, but we should all, in the process of life, in order to actually be happy, we actually have to always aspire to be happier. So today I'm breaking down the second chapter of Happier by Tal Ben-Shahar, and in this section of the book, he simplifies it into a 4-quadrant, almost archetyping system, where he shares the 4 quadrants of happiness, and really only one of them actually makes you happy, because on one side, you've got, on the top left side, I believe, you have the vegetarian burger, and he uses this burger analogy to help you kind of simplify the understanding. But here on this side is the rat racer. This is the person that I'm explaining to you that I was, and if you are watching this video right now and are continuing to watch, there's a good chance you're this one too, because this is the person who chases success, not fulfillment. This is the person who struggles to be in the moment, who is constantly stressed out, anxious, and doing in hopes that someday all of their hard work will pay off and then they'll be happy. And that hard work might look like lots of money in the bank account, all that financial security you've created. All that money in the bank account is going to make me so happy. It might be an achievement, a status symbol that you're searching for. You know, when I finally get that on the cover of Forbes magazine, then I'll be happy. Whatever it is for you, if you're constantly outsourcing that someday something will then make you happier, then you are a rat racer. Now, to jump to the other two really quick, you've got on the bottom left, you've got the nihilist. The nihilist is the worst burger. It's just disgusting. It doesn't make you healthy. The idea of the rat race burger, the vegetarian burger, which is a little bit like old school, is like the vegetarian burger is healthy. It's good for you, but it tastes disgusting. And now we've got the worst burger, the nihilist. And this is when we basically have learned helplessness, where enough bad things go on in our life that we think that that's the way that things are going to be for the rest of our life. And we develop an idea that life is meaningless and not fun and there's no joy and there's no meaning. Then you've got on the bottom right quadrant the junk food burger. And I think that this is another place, I will make another video about this soon, which is this is the hedonist. And we have more than ever, because of society's push, well, not only the push from social media, but also the simultaneous feeling that there's not much hope for the future from an economic and growth-based standpoint. We have more people than ever living hedonistic lifestyles, and this is coupled with the fact that not only has social media trained our brains to be dopamine addicted, but we also have societies at a point where we basically can have any of our needs met at any time. We can order DoorDash, we have dating apps, we have like I said, social media. We have all these ways that we can get our desire for something. We have instant gratification around whatever it is that we want. That has cultivated a stronger hedonism in the world than ever. And now we have the 4th quadrant, and this is the only quadrant of the happiness quadrants that actually is happiness. It's not actual fulfillment. And this is the person who is focused on present joy and future joy. And I guess the word they use specifically is benefit. So the hedonist is all about present benefit and not future benefit. They don't do anything in alignment for what's good for them. This is the cliche of the person who, does drugs and drinks alcohol because it brings you present benefit, but not future benefit. Then on that happiness quadrant, you are the person who is enjoying the process, enjoying the now as you move towards something that you care about, as you move towards something that you want to move towards. It's not the pressure of something you should be moving towards. But I want to emphasize today in this video the rat racer's mentality, because so many of us are living in, we've got the nihilists, yes, the people who are falling into depression and are really struggling in life. That is a small percentage. Most of the world is living as a rat racer or hedonist. And I want to emphasize today that rat racer, because I get you. I've been there. I've been there feeling like if I just put in more work, and grind harder, and I do everything right, if I do everything right, then one day I'll be happy, because then I will be worthy and deserving, because then I'll get the approval, because then I'll have this status, then I'll have the house, the money, the car, whatever it is. You are outsourcing that something someday will then make you happy, but you don't realize that the attitude you bring to your present life is the same way you will experience life when you get to that thing. So if you are stressed out, anxious, and frustrated in the process of getting there, you will arrive there and you will feel just as stressed out, anxious, and depressed. And like, I get it, because I've been there. I was in competitive sports my whole life, and I had wired in, because 0 to 14 is the most impactful time to wire in your belief systems and perceptions about the world. It creates your childhood programming, and that programming stays with you your whole life until you decide to change it. And so I was wired in with the programming that if I work harder, then I will be the best, and then I will be good enough. And I was constantly chasing that win, chasing that satisfaction of success, only for the satisfaction to never come. Especially when I started to get older, and even though I was pulled out of sports when we started traveling full time, and even when I had the reflection to realize that I was actually chasing validation and approval, I still was so addicted to that belief system that I carried that mentality with me into entrepreneurship. So I became an entrepreneur when I was 15 years old, and I co-founded Nomads with a Purpose, our travel blog, with my mom when we were on a 6-month road trip through Europe. And we had, just tents. We were traveling in an RV for some of the time, but we were just roaming around Europe for 6 months when my mom had bought one-way tickets. And that's a story in and of itself. But I started that business, and since then, I have struggled to break free of the idea that I need to work harder. I was addicted to my productivity because at the core, I was addicted to my productivity because I wanted so bad to reach this success, this idea of either, I built a successful travel blog before the age of 18. I am a 6-figure travel blogger. Whatever status symbol I wanted, I chased after. I wanted to be, I was in a Huffington Post article. I wanted to be in Forbes. I wanted to be all of these cliche status symbols. But the problem is, even as adults, even if you're not chasing the cliche thing, you're probably chasing things like a certain amount of money in your bank account. That's going to make you feel secure and safe, right? You want to have 50,000 in savings. You want to have 5,000 in savings. You want to have a new car. You want to upgrade your house, remodel your house. You want to be seen as having a great family, a perfect family. It doesn't matter what your version is. Mine might sound more cliche because I was like, I wanted to be inside magazines. I'm seen as successful. It doesn't matter because I was still outsourcing my happiness to a future someday that wouldn't actually make me happier. It took me forever to really, I think I knew what I was doing the whole way, but to actually break the addiction is an entirely different thing. That's what we're dedicated to here inside Be the Hero Academy. We want to help you rewire your brain to think and feel the way you want to feel every day. You don't want to wake up with that looming sense that I'm not enough and I need to grind harder. And so therefore, I'm now going to spend the rest of my day in a state of perpetual stress and anxiety just because I can't break this neuropathway addiction. So I knew it for a very long time. I was like, oh, okay, I'm probably like chasing success for the wrong reason, but I was so emotionally addicted, or I guess you should say neurologically addicted to feeling like I wasn't enough, simultaneously like trying to navigate my own emotional experience of trying to connect back to my authentic self, which I really couldn't do for a long time. And between all of the turmoil of my thoughts being addicted, emotionally not being satisfied, and at the core, not being able to just enjoy the present moment, kept me stuck in the cycle for a very long time. And I'll tell you, to be totally honest with you, I still get addicted to the rat race mentality. And it goes even further because a lot of us who are generally fall into the rat race section, because just because you fall into one quadrant doesn't mean you're not like a personality type that sticks there for the rest of your life. You move around these quadrants. So what happens when you're in a rat race or two? You tend to have these, well, honestly, it makes you move through the other two. You have moments of nihilism where you want to give up, when you're in a complete state of burnout. You move into hedonism because you're so sick and tired of constantly not really enjoying your life and feeling like you always have to be responsible, that you have these moments of hedonism where you just indulge in the present joy, in the present pleasures of life, whether that's food or drinking or in your relationships, whatever it is, because you're just so sick of constantly putting off the goalpost to future joy. But at the core of it, it's because we haven't realized that we are chasing a should. We are chasing the approval of other people, of what they said is going to make us happy, rather than connecting to what actually makes us happy. Now, the problem is most of us go, I don't know what makes us happy. This is because you have been out of homeostasis for so long that your nervous system doesn't know how to stop. You are basically constantly in a nervous state. This is the practical tangibility of why you're struggling to connect to what you want. We are in a constant state of waking up because we have spent our whole life listening to what other people told us was going to make us happy. We have set ourselves up into a nervous system cycle where we enter our beta brainwave, where we physically cannot discover what it is that we want, what makes us happy, and what's fun. And because we are addicted to it, we can't slow down to break the cycle enough. And so the answer can be as simple as start meditating every day. The answer can also be as elaborate as question who it is that ingrained into you this belief of what you should be, do, and have. This rat race quadrant perfectly summarizes the generational self-worth crisis that we have unintentionally created in our world. We are each living as a product of what our parents have told us we should do, or at the very least what society has told us we should do. Because if we zoom back far enough, think to yourself, why are you here right now? How did you get here? And I get that that's a hard question, and it's also a sad question, because I think a lot of us, and myself included, we think about we know all the places we went wrong. We know we have regrets. We have things that we haven't forgiven in other people. We have all these things that have led us to where we are now. And with loving kindness, I understand. It's I get the feeling of I wish I could go back and do it differently. But with compassion toward yourself, now look at it with the idea that you get to change it. You actually have the power to change and move into the other quadrant. And if you can just give yourself the compassion to see all the places where you obeyed the idea of what other people told you should do. Maybe you overall thought, you listened to society and your parents when they said that you needed to do well in school and you needed to get into college and you needed to get that job because you need financial security. You need financial security so that you can have a house. And you need to have a house so that you can get married and have a family and support your kids, only for your kids to grow up and you need to tell them that they need to go to school to get good grades, to get into college so that they can get a job, so they can get financial security, so they can buy a house, so that they can get married, so that they can have kids and have a family. You see how the big picture, we are really just following this idea of what you should do. Well, have you ever questioned? I'll come from the simple personal example that, do you need a house? I haven't lived in a house in 10 years. And I would argue that I'm much happier than most kids experience in their 14 to 24-year-old life because I didn't live in a house. So using that as an inspiration, what are the other things that you think that you were supposed to do you need that to be happy? Or do you need to know yourself and understand yourself and see yourself and be able to communicate your thoughts and feelings and emotions? Do you need to be able to acknowledge your emotions and do things you're passionate about in order to be happy? What if the rules that you have been told about life are not actually going to lead you to happiness. And that's the entire point of the book called Happier. How can you be happier starting now? If you let go of all of the regrets and the shame and the anger and resentments, and you got to start from new today, and you could move into the new quadrant, the happiness quadrant, what would bring you joy now? And what would bring you joy in the future? What goal could you create that isn't just exciting to move towards and great when you arrive there, but would also make you happy to work towards? What peak would be so exciting that you enjoy every brutal step along the way? That is what the essence of the Hamburger Model is all about. So if you're done chasing a version of success that doesn't make you happy, but you get that you're probably just addicted to it, check out the link in the description, check out the link in this post, because you can sign up for a one-time coaching call with us. You can sign up for an entire Best Life Blueprint coaching program with us. And we can help you, between me and Robin or one of us, we can help you to break out of this addiction you have to feeling like you're not good enough, chasing success that doesn't make you happy, and overall being a rat racer, not being able to enjoy the present moment. We can help you with that. Sign up for a strategy session down below, and we can help you identify the roadblocks, the beliefs, and the stories from your past that are holding you back from becoming the person you want to be and living the life you want to have. So if this video helped you, let me know in the comments down below. We started moving all these videos into a new channel, and we would love if these videos got to be shared with the world to help someone else who needs to hear this message. And by you liking and commenting, it helps this video be seen by more people. Thank you for joining me, you guys. Namaste.